Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. For my regular viewers, here's Jerry. And for my new viewers, this is Jerry. So Jerry is a three-legged part Maine Coon. I've lost track, but I think he's somewhere around 7 years. He really is a rock star. He believes he's a rock star, and it's just his lot in life. Want to look at the nice people? Say hi. There we go. So it is so hot out here. We are under something that's called a heat dome. We here in Alberta are looking at temperatures this week hovering right around the 100-degree Fahrenheit mark, 40, 41 degrees Celsius. Jerry and Atticus both live with my daughter. They have literally come to hang out with us this week because it is so hot. And it's so hot, and they just absolutely need to cool down. So later on this week, I'll do a video that's a pet parade. But for right now, I just thought I would give you a little fix of Jerry. Want to go lay down now in front of a fan? Yeah? Okay. Hang on. Say bye. Hi. Okay, so there is so much going on. I've decided I have my pendulum here for some yes/no questions. I'm going to do a series of mini reads, okay? Also, for my Canadian subscribers or those interested, I will also be doing a video this week just touching on Canada and how we're doing in terms of COVID and reopening and, come here, bud, reopening and, kids going back to school and what that's going to look like come September. So there's a lot going on this week, and it's hot. But I'm going to try to plow through as much of this as I can. For people in BC, it is even hotter there, which is just crazy. For my viewers in BC, please stay cool, stay hydrated. And those of you who live in the northwestern part of the United States, you are also under this crazy dome of heat. So there you have that. Okay, so I want to take a look at the Department of Justice. Okay, so the Department of Justice has now said that they are going to, they're suing Georgia because of their crazy restrictive voting laws that they're trying to enact. And so I want to take a quick look and see how that's going. Okay, so let's just do a pendulum quick first. So is the Department of, okay, so side to side means it's ready to talk. Show me yes. Back and forth is yes. Show me no. It goes around in a circle. For those of you not familiar with this pendulum is highly responsive, but it's short. Because it's short, you'll often see some movement in my hand. I'm not doing it. Okay, is the Department of Justice going to be successful in their lawsuit? Hi, Nova. Hi, buddy. I guess Nova doesn't want to be outdone by Jerry. Nova's my cat. He is now, I think, 9 months old. You'll see more of him on the pet parade. Okay, is the Department of Justice going to be successful in suing Georgia over voting rights? That looks like a big yes. Will the Department of Justice sue other states who are also trying to enact these crazy draconian voting rights? Yes. Okay. I'm not going to go state by state. We'll just see how that unfolds. Is there more going on behind the scenes at the Department of Justice than we realize in terms of combating some of the crazy that's going on? Yes. Okay. So I did say in one of my most recent readings that there was a lot more going on behind the scenes than we realized, and certainly the last several days have literally let us know that there's a heck of a lot going on behind the scenes. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at the Department of Justice. I have a question. Come on down. Okay. Tell me about the Department of Justice. Department of Justice current trajectory. DOJ current trajectory. DOJ current trajectory. Here we go. Such a mess. Oh my goodness, they walked into such a mess. So this is the thing, Merrick Garland is sort of about balance, right? I mean, that's one of the things that we know about this man. He is sort of down the center, okay? He is not wildly left and he's not wildly right. And frankly, even though that sometimes that may be frustrating for some of us, it really is the smartest way to proceed, right? You don't want to go in there and try to tear everything up and change everything that was done in the last 4 years. You want to do it quietly, systematically, and you want to move ahead so that the changes you make are solid. Okay, so literally he walked in. There is still so much stuff that's hidden that he kind of spends some time shaking his head a little bit, okay? Because they're still finding stuff. They're still unearthing stuff. It feels as I step into his energy, he's weary. It's like, kind of going into work every day, and he's honestly not sure what disaster is going to get brought to his desk, but he darn well sure knows there's going to be one, okay? There are some people that he is so angry with and so upset with, and there are going to be some, I'm not going to call them purges, but there are going to be some people who work in the Department of Justice who may discover or may decide that it might be in their best interest to sort of move along, okay? Trust me, there's magic going on behind the scenes. There's a lot more going on than we know. And they're uncovering it, okay? He's working independently. He is not responding to the White House as it should be. But he, within his department, is slowly but surely getting things moving. Things were so crazy that it's easy to get impatient and frustrated because, he's just not doing this clean sweep. He's being very smart about not doing a clean sweep because you know what? That would just end up causing a lot of animosity and anger and frustration. And he is, he is not oblivious. He is aware. And frankly, he's got some really good people who are moving into positions. There's also stuff going on, like across the seas, okay? So whether that is Russia or that's China or whatever, but he is also monitoring that and on top of that. So there's a lot going on. And even though it seems to be difficult, it definitely looks like it's going to bear fruit. Okay, so as far as Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice goes, let's just give the guy a break because really he's got a tremendous amount on his plate. And, as somebody pointed out to me, my God, he hasn't been in office very long at all. It's only a short period of time because, of course, the Republicans screwed around trying to delay his approval or whatever it is called that he needed to get his confirmation. Okay, let's take a look at the indictment. So the Manhattan District Attorney, I believe that's the Cy Vance department, is talking about indictments coming down as early as this week. So and we're going to get my little pendulum out. Okay, so pendulum, are there indictments that are going to come down against the Trump organization? Trump Organization, are there going to be indictments coming to them? Yes. At this time, is Donald Trump or the Trump kids going to face indictments? Okay, no. Don't panic. Are there indictments that are being worked on against those individuals also? Yes. And just while we're here, has Alan Weisselberg flipped? Has he flipped? Okay, no, not according to this. Is he likely to flip before it's all said and done? Yes. Okay, let's take a look at indictments, shall we? More about indictments, more about indictments, more about indictments. There we go. Oh my. Okay. So what we've got here is, of course, King of Pentacles is one of my trump cards. So what you have here is you have somebody in a position of authority. And even though, how can I say this? Even though it feels a little bit like, they're sort of on uncharted territory, in as much as they've never had to do something like this connected to a ex-president, they are moving ahead, and they are not going to be, dissuaded. And they are working at building cases that are rock solid, that keeps them on firm ground. There are judgments coming down, and it's going to be the end. Like literally, it is going to end either parts of or all of the Trump Organization. There's some overseas stuff that is going to play a role or a part in this. And the reality is that Star card really is sort of saying, listen, you know what? They're not above the law. And it's time to, I almost want to say, sort of bring back a sense of hope about how, justice departments work and what is right and what is wrong. You know what, this is the thing. They weren't actually all that smart about the way they dealt with the money. Okay, they weren't. And, because they just felt that they were invincible. They had gotten away with it for so long that they really kind of figured that they could just keep on getting away with it, and why be diligent, right? They didn't and so in some ways the paper trails were actually really easy to follow, because they sort of hung themselves, right? I mean, they were so cocky and so arrogant that they didn't even try to camouflage what they were doing. Yeah. There's going to be a lot more information coming out. There's going to be, information about sort of, how can I say this? What charges are coming out, how they were arrived at. I suppose that will be, it will come through, I guess, the court documents. But there's definitely going to be some, I almost want to say some surprises. And now, I don't know. Let's ask, shall we? Is this more likely than not to go to court? Oh, I was kind of expecting, this is a yes. I was kind of expecting that they might try, the organization itself might try to sort of do a settlement, because that's typically what happens in these cases. But that doesn't look like it's on the books. From what I understand, apparently banks in particular are not allowed to do business with companies that are under indictment. And so they're saying to pull his loans, which will sort of immediately bankrupt the company. Are we going to see Trump Organization ending up in bankruptcy? And that's a pretty darn firm yes. It won't even wait until I ramble my way through the question. So there's definitely going to be some successes coming to the district attorney's office that's going after him. And it's about the money. It was the money that tripped him up. And frankly, it's always going to be the money when it comes to Trump, because really, he cares about two things in life. He cares about himself, and he cares about his money. And really, beyond that, he doesn't care. Like, truly doesn't care. Okay, so I want to take a look at, before kind of everything went crazy, I wanted to do a bit of a deep dive on Jared and Ivanka, because boy, oh boy, they sure have been laying low. They really do seem to be kind of separating themselves away. They realize, I think, that Trump is kind of crazy, and they don't want to be a part of it. So I'm going to just do, instead of a deep dive right now, I'm going to do a mini dive into Jared and Ivanka and see what is going on with them, because I think that they're some kind of scared, because, if you think about it, Eric and Don Jr., most of their shenanigans is connected to Trump org. But as far as Ivanka, she had her own companies, and then Jared has his whole stuff and the family stuff there. So kind of going to be curious to see. I think in some ways they have a lot more skeletons to be worried about. So let's take a quick look, shall we? Tell me about Jared and Ivanka. Jared and Ivanka. Jared and Ivanka. I think it was his niece, Trump's niece, who said that, listen, Trump is going to expect that his kids are going to take the bullet for this. He really does. He feels that is sort of almost like their obligation. They need to do that because that's how it works in his family. Everybody protects Trump and everybody lies for Trump. And it's feeling a little bit like Jared and Ivanka don't actually look like they're too interested in that. They are really, really frightened. They can actually feel, life sort of unraveling. And there is the connection between her and her brothers to concern themselves with. Plus, as I said, there's Jared's stuff and there's her stuff. Let's see, because that's always the talk, right? Has Pendulum, has Ivanka, is she going to flip against her dad? Let's just get to the heart of the matter. That looks like a yes. Will Ivanka move to protect Jared above her father? Yes. Okay. So they are concerned. The difference is that, unlike Trump, who has lawyers who, I don't know, live in an alternate reality, they have some good legal representation. I don't know that it's going to, frankly, save them. They're too interconnected to the shenanigans. As most of you know, the Fool is my other trump card. And they really are looking at taking some pretty serious hits. And I think that they might almost be surprised at how big a hit and kind of the speed with which things start to crumble. So the energy I'm getting is sort of like, they haven't yet They will soon be presented with information, and that is where Ivanka's going to have to make some real serious decisions about what she knows and who she's going to tell what she knows. And when it comes right down to it, she is about saving her marriage and securing her children's future. I do not believe at this point that she is at all even remotely interested in returning to politics down the line, because the crazier her dad gets, frankly, the more she realizes that her message is she's not going to be able to create enough space to separate herself from the insanity, okay? And, you know, this is the thing. I want you guys to remember that as crazy as it seems, it is like a quarter of your country, okay? And granted, you're a big country, you got a lot of people in there, but it's not like, you know, 70 or 80% thinks that the election was stolen. Okay, maybe 70% of Republicans do, but most thinking, rational people know that it wasn't. And every day you've got more and more information coming out about sort of that big lie and the impact, you know, all kinds of suits have been thrown out of court. There's just, I read, I wish I could remember it, but I read, I think it was on CNN, there was like a list of everything that has been basically denied the Republicans just in the last like little while. And it's tons of lawsuits that are getting thrown out of court. Apparently there was a lawsuit going on in Arizona because it was about if the bogus recount accomplished anything, you know, could there be a lawsuit? And apparently that got thrown out, and the judge said no. The election has been certified, and frankly, it doesn't matter what you find out, and that's just how it's going to be. There you go. So there you go. All right, let's take a look at Rudy Giuliani. Oh, Rudy. You know, from what I understand, it's not a real common thing for them to temporarily revoke a law license because it is to the detriment of the public or dangerous to the public what he is talking about. But yeah, that's exactly what they've done. And he's standing on the street yelling and screaming. You know, and he's going to want a hearing, and I guess he's entitled to that. But, you know, I've been saying for a long time, and I'm sure I wasn't the only reader that said it, that he is going to lose that license. And, you know, he's not going to recover from it, frankly. He also is just going to continue vacationing in Crazy Town. Here we go. Rudy Giuliani. Okay, they're passing judgment on him. Justice is coming for him. It doesn't matter what he says. He is sounding more and more crazed and more delusional. The whole Dominion lawsuit for, you know, whatever it is, 1.2 billion or whatever, they're not going to be able to just dismiss it or wiggle their way out of it. So he has a lot going on. This is the thing too. Trump is disassociating himself from Giuliani. He's not going to pay his bills. And frankly, he doesn't want to play with him anymore because Trump feels that he's a loser, right? And he can't do him any good. And, you know, again, you've got a situation there where Giuliani has the nerve to be asking for money from Trump. So he's in a whack of trouble. That license is going to be permanently revoked, and he is going to become, I'm sorry, but more and more unhinged. And the more unhinged he becomes, the worse he's going to make it for himself because he's not smart enough to shut up. He's really upset about this. He actually also thought that he was above the law, that he could be protected. And this is the thing about Giuliani. It feels energetically as if he has lost sight of the truth. So part of the reason that he is so emphatic about the things he says about the counting, the voting machines and the election, it's because he actually has convinced himself that it's true. So he's really, right now he's really preoccupied about money. He's convinced he can maneuver his way out of this, but he's not going to be able to. There's disappointment and loss coming down the road for him. So Giuliani's in a heap of trouble, and it doesn't look good for him. What else would I like to take a quick peek at? Oh, well, while we're here, let's just take a quick peek and see how the King of Mar-a-Lago's doing. I think he's in Bedminster now or wherever he is. But, it doesn't really matter where he is. He really does see himself as, I don't know, maybe like exiled royalty or something, right? I don't know. The guy's just gone. So let's take a quick look and see what's going on in Trump's world. And the thing is, Biden is doing such a remarkable job everywhere he turns around. He is fixing, he is correcting, he is excelling at, what Trump tried desperately to screw up. And again, you know what? You've got a problem in the red states in terms of people not getting their COVID shots because they have been so bamboozled, they don't know what the heck the truth is, and they believe whatever they're told. So again, that's a problem. Oh, by the way, please take a moment and send prayers, light, support to the people in Florida with that condo, that third of the condo that just collapsed in on itself. There's so much loss of life. There's so much tragedy connected to that. And the first responders are doing an amazing job under very, very difficult circumstances. So for any of you who maybe know somebody that lived in that area, we send you our love and light too, because incredibly difficult situation. It would really be nice if we stopped seeing buildings in rubble and people having to dig through them. I mean, it happened with Oklahoma, 9/11, of course. And I'm not drawing comparisons. I'm just talking about sort of the scar that it leaves on the souls of the people of America. All right. Whoa. That one more shuffle. Here we go. How's Trump doing? How is Trump doing? How is Trump doing? Well, alrighty then. Okay, so his world is imploding, just literally is imploding, and he it's almost like he's sort of living in a disassociated state, if that makes sense to you. It's like it's so awful, and so he just focuses on things like the Arizona recount. He focuses on those things that he um that sort of that sort of comport comply with the narrative that he has going on in his head. He is so scared of the legal system. He is so scared of jail. He is so scared of loss, a loss of face, a loss of his reputation, because he really believes himself invincible. I mean, he just does. And all of his dirty little tricks are coming out. And the reality is that he really has, I'm sorry, but he's like separated himself from reality, and he lives now in a little bit of an altered state. And he spends his time sort of reliving his glory days. Apparently, I understand that they're calling it a revenge tour. So he's out there, holding rallies, and any Republican who is up for re-election, I guess, in the midterms that didn't like bow down and kiss the ring, he's out there trying to get them, to lose their seat, so that more crazy people can get into the government. It's going to be interesting to see how some of the Republicans actually handle that. But what's going on now is, in addition to everything else, that is also tearing the Republican Party apart. And he is unstoppable. Okay, they cannot control him because he lives in this crazy place. And because of that, he just sees things as he sees them. And the reality for him is, if you don't love him, if you don't honor him, if you don't do his bidding, he wants you destroyed. It's just as simple as that. He will do everything and anything to protect his money. But again, it's distorted. It's just distorted. He also is getting incredibly angry, sort of with the successes that Biden is having. He may mouth off and say things in public, but privately, it really bothers him. It really bothers him. And understand that remember, Trump actually thinks he won the election. And so Trump really believes at this point that Biden is an illegitimate president. And the fact that you've got an illegitimate president who is being such a roaring success is absolutely making him crazy. Yeah, he's out of control. Okay, he's not sleeping. He's not eating properly. I want to say, like, heart, blood pressure, all that kind of stuff is like a little wonky. And in some ways, it's like he's out of control. I almost want to say, like, he's trying to make deals where deals can't be had. I want to say that there might be some substance abuse of some kind. Maybe it's just his Diet Coke. I don't know. But definitely looks like that's a bit of an issue. And his mind is completely clouded. It's completely clouded. And he is going to say and do whatever he needs to say and do, because he is desperate to keep the attention on him. And so you can expect some real crazy from these little rallies that he's doing. Okay, so I hope you guys found that interesting. I certainly did. And like I said, I'm going to get a Canadian one done this week. And as the news unfolds this week, I'll be back a little bit later in the week. And that is when I anticipate being able to do the full pet parade. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. To my subscribers, new and established, I adore you. Thank you so much. The donations, they blow me away and they humble me. Thank you. And if you're looking for a reading, I really am booking sort of mid to late July at this point. And so in the description box below, there is an email address. Feel free to shoot me an email if you're looking for the details and what that looks like. Okay, thank you. Until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye.